Hello everybody! Today I'm going to do a book tag that I've wanted to do for a little while. This is the Choose the Year book tag that was originally created by Mel's Bookland Adventures. I think I first saw Libby do this, and then Maya did it, and then Rhea did it, and she tagged me, so no time like the present. So for this tag, you go to a page on Goodreads that lists the top 200 most popular books from specific years. You can pick which year you want to look at, and then you answer a couple of quick questions about books on that list. So the first question is, choose a year and say why. I chose 1956 because the day that I sat down to figure out my answers to this tag, it was my dad's birthday. Question number 2 is, which books published in that year have you read, or if none, heard of? I have definitely read a couple books published in 1956, but honestly not as many as I thought. I thought I would have read a bunch of maybe kids' books that were published this year, but nah. I've read The Last Battle by C.S. Lewis, Howl and Other Poems by Allen Ginsberg. I don't have this one marked as read on Goodreads, but I used to own it and I read it. The Miracle Worker by William Gibson. This is a play about Helen Keller that I read in elementary school, and I remember really liking it and kind of being obsessed with watching movie versions of the play. Then I've also read Double Star by Robert Heinlein, probably the only book by Heinlein that I have genuinely enjoyed reading. It's one of the Hugo Award winners. And then Knight's Castle by Edward Eager, which I assume is a kid's book that I read many, many years ago. Question number 3 is, are there any books published in that year that sound interesting, and would you read them now? The ones that were already on my to-read list are The City and the Stars by Arthur C. Clarke. I own a copy of this one actually. And Aniara, an epic science fiction poem by Harry Martinson, which I think is translated from Swedish. I actually came across Aniara months ago when I was looking up speculative poetry or science fictional poetry, and it came highly recommended, but apparently the English translation, or the good English translation, is not currently in print, but I hope to get it someday. And then looking through the list, there are a couple more that I will probably read someday. There's The Fall by Albert Camus, which I don't know what it's about, but the cover of it always intrigues me. It's very minimalist, but kind of draws you in. Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. I mean, this seems like a must-read because it's a modern classic, but it's also, I think, one of those really, really popular books on BookTube, and I should get around to that. And then there's The Naked Sun by Isaac Asimov, one of the robot novels. I don't know why I've never read the novels. I've read some of the short stories in his robot universe, and I liked them. But I think a couple years ago I just stopped really picking up Asimov's books, so moved on to other things. And then there are some plays and poetry by George Bernard Shaw and Edna St. Vincent Millay that are on my to-read list, especially Millay's poetry. I'd like to try that out. I noticed that there are a lot of mystery novels and children's books for 1956, and not a lot of them were interesting to me. Question 4, most obscure sounding book. There's one called Detectives in Togas by Henry Winterfeld, which just sounds hilarious. But I think the most obscure sounding one to me is The Revolt of the Masses, the story of Bonifacio and the Katupanan by Teodoro Agoncillo. No clue what that one is about. And lastly, strangest book cover. For me, I had to pick Japanese Tales of Mystery and Imagination by Edogawa Rampo. It's got this creepy eye on it in disembodied hands, and I can't with disembodied hands. And I am going to tag some people. I don't know if they have already done this or been tagged before, but I'm going to tag Kazan from Always Doing, Andrea from Infinite Text, and Brock from Let's Read, in case any of them feel like doing a short and easy book tag. That is it for this tag. Let me know if you have read any books from 1956 from the Goodreads list and maybe what you thought of them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon in another video, and until then, bye.